What's up, guys? It's Lawrence. Thanks for stopping by my channel. If you like what you see, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks. Observing obscure observances. Looking at the calendar, April 13th. Here we have Dingus Day. Dingus Day, sometimes also known as Wet Easter Monday, is a Polish holiday popular in Poland, Ukraine, and Polish communities in the United States. Similar celebrations are held in Hungary, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia. The celebration takes place after the Lenten season. In Poland, the day is most associated with water and pussy willows. Males throw waters on females and generally hit them with pussy willow branches. Males many times climb on the roof of buildings and hit a tin pan to announce which girls will be soaked. They often sneak into homes and pour water on females while they were still in bed. Sometimes the girls are then taken to a nearby pond or river or thrown in. Occasionally, they are even carried out on their beds and the whole beds are thrown in. Girls are able to stop themselves from getting doused by giving boys a ransom of painted eggs. According to tradition, girls are able to take revenge on Tuesday, but there usually is no waiting, and girls pour water back on boys and whip them with pussy willow branches on the same day. There are other rituals associated with the day. During a dingus perception, males take a live bird, such as rooster, and stuff it with vodka so that it crows louder. They then carry it into a wagon and They then carry it in a wagon and go door to door and crow like roosters along the way. The purpose is to try and get leftover Easter food, such as Easter eggs, from the houses they stop at. In some areas, boys march through the village dressed as a bear with a bill on his head. They ask for gifts for the bear and then drown the bear in a body of water. Wow. Girls also go door to door and carry a freshly cut green branch and sing songs while doing so. In the United States, the day is celebrated in Polish communities. One of the biggest celebrations takes place in Buffalo, New York. The celebration there started in the 1960s. A celebration in Cleveland has polka music, a parade, and the crowning of a Miss Tingus. Other celebrations in the United States are in South Bend and LaPorte, Indiana. The holiday may have started before 1000 C, but it for sure dates to at least the 15th century, from when there are written records. And water is connected to the holiday because of the baptism of Polish Prince Mieszko in 966 CE, which united Poland under Christianity. So there you go. Interesting little bit of information there. All right. What else do we got? Okay, let's see. Dingus Day, already did that. Dingus Day, that one's gone. All right, good. Boom and boom. Easter Monday. Let's see. Easter Monday takes place, let's see what this says here. Okay, Easter Monday takes place on the day after Easter. From 1935 to 1987, Polish strongholds such as Chicago and many other cities celebrated as Dingus Day. Let's see, Dingus Day. The White House Easter egg roll is held on the day as well. Not sure if they're doing it this year. And that's it. Okay, wait. I jumped around a little bit. Easter Monday takes place on the day after Easter. It is not a federal holiday in the United States or widely observed, but it is informally observed in North Dakota where there is no school on the day. It is also commonly observed in Texas and Maryland and in some cities in New York, Michigan, and Indiana. It was a public holiday in North Carolina from 1935 to 1987. Oh, that's where that comes in. That's why it got a little jumbled there towards the, when I was reading it, it got a little messed up. It kind of jumped around the page a little bit. All right, here we go. Sit down here. International FND Awareness Day, also known as International Functional Neurological Disorder Awareness Day. And there's no information on that. It's just like, I mean, look, if you know somebody who suffers with a neurological disorder, If you know someone, functional neurological disorder awareness day. I really don't know all that much about it, but I got nothing. National Make Lunch Count Day. What's the other 364 days we don't give a, we don't care about lunch? Well, you're supposed to make lunch count today, make it count every day. National Peach Cobbler Day. Heard about this on the radio a little bit here. Peach cobbler. Never really had peach cobbler, but hey, look. Not my thing. But okay, here we go. Where the heck is it? Okay, today we celebrate the peach cobbler, a peach-filled deep dish. Today we celebrate the peach cobbler, a peach-filled deep dish fruit pie with a thick crust that is usually made of biscuit dough. Cobblers are named as such because of their rough look. They often look like they were cobbled together. There are various types of cobblers. Those in the South usually have a top and bottom crust. Fruit cobblers, such as peach, are most popular in the South as well. They're often topped with vanilla ice cream. Cobblers originated in the early years of America, and multiple sources say that National Peach Cobbler Day was created by the Georgia Peach Council in the 1950s in order to sell canned peaches. Okay, there you go. If you enjoy peach cobbler, enjoy it. All right. What else do we got? Scrabble Day. I never did play Scrabble. But can you imagine what it would be like a bunch of blind people playing Scrabble? You'd have to get you used to get some really heavy paper, and you'd have to be feeling like, okay, triple word score, aardvark. All right, here we go. We'll think about Scrabble here because it's Scrabble Day. The popular board game Scrabble is celebrated today on the birthday of its creator, Alfred Butts. Butts lost his architectural job in 1931 during the Great Depression and began brainstorming with the goal of creating a game. He organized board games into three categories: strategy games, numbers games, and word games. Realizing most games weren't word games, he set out to make one that everyone could enjoy. He wanted to combine chance and skill and was influenced by crossword puzzles and anagrams. In his new game, which he called Lexico, words were built by drawing and letter... Wait. Gotta read this again. In his new game, which he called Lexico, words were built by drawing and discarding from letter tiles. 9 letter tiles were held at a time and there was no game board. Between 1934 and 1938, he made Lexico sets by hand. He tried to license them to Milton Bradley and Parker Brothers, but was rejected. Ouch. He then tweaked the game so that words could be built like a crossword puzzle and began calling this version crisscross words. He began including common letters more frequently, but made the... hold on, I messed up something here. More words could be built like a crossword puzzle and began calling the version crisscross words. He included common letters more frequently, but made them worth fewer points than rare letters. He only put in 4 S's, though, as he didn't want easy points to be made by making words plural. He added 2 blank tiles and lowered the number of letters each person had from 9 to 7. Butts sold crisscross words from his home for $2 a game and drew all the pieces by hand using his architectural draft equipment. He stopped producing the game sometime in the 1940s. And let's see if it stops here. Okay, in 1947, Alfred Butts was Alfred Butts was contacted by James Brunet, who paid Butts a small royalty and put the game back into production in the summer of 1948. Brunet changed the name of the game to Scrabble, which means to scrab or grope phonetically with the hands. Brunet and his wife began making the games in their homes and stand the letters on each wooden tile. In 1949, they made 2,251 Scrabble games for a loss of $450. Shortly thereafter, a fortuitous event is said to have occurred. An executive of Macy's department store came across the game while on vacation. It is believed that is what made business begin to boom in 1952. Production was moved from their home to an abandoned schoolhouse, and then to a woodworking shop. With the help of others, the Brunets were making 6,000 Scrabble games a week, but still couldn't keep up with demand. By the fall of 1952, 37,000 Scrabble games have been sold. Let's see what else it says. The Brunets licensed the game to Sell Cow and Ryder, which began producing the standard set for $3 and marketing it and distributing it. They sold 800,000 units of the game in 1953, and in its peak year in 1954, 4 million Scrabble sets were sold. In 1972, Sell Cow and Ryder purchased the rights to the game, and in 1986, they in turn sold them to Coleco. 3 years later, they were purchased by Hasbro, which is owned by Milton Bradley. Today, there are many versions of the game, such as the Junior, Electric Scoring, Standard, Deluxe, and Travel versions. Hasbro now sells between 1.5 and 2 million sets of the game each year, and the game is in 3 out of 5 American homes. Not in this game. Not in this house, anyway. The National Scrabble Association was founded in 1978, and it is now known as the North American Scrabble Players Association. They hold the North American Scrabble Championship in the United States. This tournament usually lasts 5 days and has about 500 players who compete in 31 rounds. There also is a World Scrabble Championship as well as a National School Scrabble Tournament for younger players. Many NASPA members participate in weekly competitions, keeping Alfred Butt's dream of a word game that many will enjoy live and well. Oh, there you go. Interesting little thing about the game Scrabble. I remember there was a TV show adaptation of it. I'll never forget there was this one contestant. He was playing the board, and Chuck Ward is the MC. And I remember, for some reason, this sticks out with me. The contestant going, "Give me next, Chuck," and you just see this X going up and down the screen. It was like, ooh, and a stopper. Ooh, sorry. And we're back with Scrabble, and this is Chuck Ward. We'll be back in 2 and 2. That was his thing. We'll be back in 2 and 2. All right. What else do we got? Scrabble Day. Thomas Jefferson Day. I didn't know that. Also known as Thomas Jefferson's birthday. Observed annually on April 13th. Interesting little information about our third president. All right, here we go. Thomas Jefferson, a founding father of the United States, was born on April 13th, 1743. He held many roles and did much during the formative years of the country, including being the main author of the Declaration of Independence and the country's third president. He wrote his own epitaph, highlighting what he most wanted to be remembered for. Here was buried Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence. And this is a long one. Here was buried Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of... This is a long title. Here was buried Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence of American Independence, of the Statue of Virginia for Religious Freedom, and father of the University of Virginia. Wow, that's a long... Wow. I just messed that one up. I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, continuing. Thomas Jefferson Day is a legal observance, but it is not a public holiday. A joint resolution approved on August 16, 1937, authorized the President of the United States to proclaim April 13th as Thomas Jefferson's birthday each year. The following year, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt issued Presidential Proclamation 2276 to designate the day. Subsequent presidents have made similar proclamations. In Alabama, Thomas Jefferson's birthday is officially celebrated on President's Day, along with George Washington's. Thomas Jefferson was born at the Shadwell Plantation in Albemarle County, Virginia. His mother, Jane Randall Jefferson, was from a prominent Virginia family, and his father, Peter Jefferson, was a planter and surveyor. After graduating from the College of William and Mary in 1762, he began studying law. As there weren't official law schools at the time, Jefferson studied under a Virginia attorney. He began his work as a lawyer. He began his work as a lawyer in 1767. He married Martha Wales Skelton on January 1st, 1772. They had 6 children, but only 2 daughters lived to adulthood. Martha died in 1782 at the age of 33, and Jefferson never remarried. Besides keeping himself busy with politics throughout his life, he had many other interests, including gardening, architecture, music, and reading. Jefferson was a member of colonial Virginia's House of Burgesses between 1769 and 1775. He wrote a summary view of the rights of British America in 1774, which brought him to a wider audience. It said that the British Parliament did not have the right to use authority over the colonies. He was then selected to be a delegate to the Second Continental Congress. During this time, a panel of 5 was chosen to draft the Declaration of Independence. Of the 5, which also included John Adams and Benjamin Franklin, Jefferson was chosen to write the draft. It was adopted on July 4th, 1776. In the fall of 1776, Jefferson resigned from the Continental Congress and was elected to the Virginia House of Delegates, which was formerly the House of Burgesses. In the 1770s, In the late 1770s, he drafted the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom. It was a notable forerunner to the First Amendment, and Jefferson thought it was one of his most substantial contributions, being important enough to include in his epitaph. After his time in the Virginia House of Delegates, he was governor of Virginia from 1779 to 1781. Following the Revolutionary War, Jefferson was part of Congress, which was known as the Congress of the Confederation at the time. He served from 1783 to 1784, and then became minister to France in 1785, taking over the position that Benjamin Franklin had held. Because he was overseas, he was not able to attend the Constitutional Convention in 1787. In the fall of 1789, Thomas Jefferson returned to America and became the first Secretary of State. He helped found the Democratic-Republican Party, which opposed Alexander Hamilton's Federalist Party, a party that wanted a strong central government with strong powers over the economy. Jefferson believed in a federal government with a limited role and believed strongly in local governments. He ran for president in 1796 and received the largest amount of votes after John Adams, so he became vice president. He ran against Adams in 1800 and this time beat him, but his electoral vote count tied that of his running mate, Aaron Burr, and it was up to the House of Representatives to declare Jefferson as president. Because of this, the 12th Amendment, which stipulated separate voting for president and vice president, was ratified in 1804. Jefferson served 2 terms as president and was in office from 1801 to 1809. During his first term in 1803, he helped orchestrate the Louisiana Purchase, in which the size of the United States doubled with the purchase of land for $15 million from France. Jefferson sent Meriwether Lewis and William Clark on an expedition, known as the Court of Discovery, to explore the new land. With this first trip, information was gathered about geography, plants, animal life, and American Indian tribes. During his second term, which he secured with over 70% of the popular vote, Jefferson worked to keep the country out of the Napoleonic Wars. He implemented the embargo of 1807 after merchant ships were getting harassed by France and Britain. It was an unpopular move, though, as it shut down American trade towards the economy. It was repealed in 1809. Jefferson did not run for a third term in 1808. After his presidency, Jefferson retired to his home, Monticello. Monticello means little mountain in Italian. Indeed, the home is located on a small mountain on the edge of the Shadwell property where Jefferson was born. He had begun clearing the area for a home in 1768. He designed the home and gardens himself, and he continued to work on the house throughout his life. Art and gadgets filled the rooms, and he kept records of everything that went on at the plantation. During his retirement years, he also helped found the University of Virginia. He also helped design its building and curriculum. He also made sure that it wasn't a religious school and that there wasn't a religious litmus test to attend it. In 1815, he sold his 6,700-volume personal library to Congress to replace the books that had been destroyed by the British in the War of 1812 when they burned the Capitol, which housed the Library of Congress at the time. Jefferson's books became the foundation of what became the Library of Congress's new library. Although Jefferson is revered as one of the founding fathers, he is not a man without contradictions and shortcomings. He was a promoter of liberty and wrote all men are created equal, but was a slave owner throughout his whole life, during which he owned a total of 600 slaves. He believed blacks were inferior humans and didn't think coexistence would be possible if they were free. And although he never married right after the loss of his beloved wife Martha, he went on to father more children with one of his slaves, Sally Heating. Some of the slaves that were in his bloodline were freed after his death, but most of his slaves were sold. Thomas Jefferson passed away at Monticello at the age of 83 on July 4th, 1826, on the 50-year anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. As if the date of his death wasn't ironic enough, fellow founder and father John Adams died on the same day. Thomas Jefferson died first, but Adams did not know that Jefferson had died, and his last words were Thomas Jefferson survives. Jefferson was buried at Monticello. Monticello was sold following to pay debts, after his death to pay debts, but a nonprofit organization acquired it in the 20th century, and it was opened to the public in 1954. So there you go. Showing a little bit of information there. All right, see where we're sitting at now. Where is it? That. All right, well, that takes care of that one. I'm Lawrence Ross. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hey, guys, it's Lawrence. Well, that's the end of the video, but before I go, I want to thank you guys for checking out the content. If you like, you can check out my radio show every Friday evening at 7 p.m., on rasradiolive.com. That's R-A-S radiolive.com, radiochaos.net, and in this case, it's chaos with a K, K-A-O-S, radiochaos.net, or nonamenetwork.net. It's called the LRWS, and check it out. We also have a store, teespring.com, T-E-E, spring.com, /stores/LRWS. And if you want, you can check out my Patreon page, patreon.com /LRoss1987. Thanks for watching.